Imagine checking into a quiet hotel room for a business trip, only to be found dead the next morning with massive internal injuries, like you'd been in a car wreck. But the room is locked from the inside. Nothing's disturbed, no blood, no signs of a fight, and you're still holding a lit cigarette. This isn't a locked room mystery from an Agatha Christie novel. This is the real-life case of Greg Fleniken, the body in room 348. Today, we're diving into one of the most bizarre and mind-blowing true crime cases ever, a death that stumped police for months until a private investigator cracked it wide open. Stick around till the end for the insane twist that turned an accident into murder. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We cover the most thrilling solved cases, perfect for late-night binges. Let's get into it. Let's start with the victim. Greg Fleniken was a 55-year-old successful oil and gas landman from Lafayette, Louisiana. He was known as a hard-working, friendly guy, the kind of person who built a comfortable life through deals in the energy industry. Married to his wife Susie for decades, he had adult children and was often on the road for work. In September 2010, Greg was in Beaumont, Texas, a hub for the oil industry, negotiating land rights. He checked into the MCM Elegante Hotel, a upscale spot with a pool, conference center, and a reputation as a solid business traveler's choice. Nothing out of the ordinary. On the evening of September 23rd, Greg had dinner, ordered room service, some snacks and a drink, and settled in to watch Iron Man 2 on pay-per-view. Witnesses said he seemed perfectly normal, chatting casually with hotel staff. The next morning, around 10 a.m., housekeeping knocks on room 348. No answer. They try again, still nothing. Using a master key, they open the door and freeze. Greg is lying face down on the carpet near the bed, dead. But the room? Impossibly normal. The door was chained from the inside initially. They had to get security to unchain it. No windows open, no forced entry anywhere. On the table, untouched room service snacks, a drink. The TV is still playing the movie menu. And in Greg's hand, a cigarette, still smoldering, like he dropped mid-puff. Police arrive quickly. They search for signs of foul play. No blood spatter, no overturned furniture, no robbery. Wallet, watch, cash, all there. No suicide note, no drugs visible. Beaumont PD's initial conclusion: natural causes, probably a massive heart attack. The body is sent for autopsy, and the case seems headed for closure. But then the autopsy report comes back, and it flips the entire investigation upside down. The medical examiner finds devastating internal injuries, multiple broken ribs, lacerated liver and spleen, a perforated heart, trauma equivalent to a high-speed car crash or a severe beating. Yet externally, almost no marks, just a tiny bruise here and there. How is this possible? In a locked room with no disturbance, no weapon found? Detectives are baffled. Theories fly. Did he fall somehow? Was it some rare medical event? An aneurysm that caused massive internal bleeding? Greg's family, especially his widow Susie, isn't buying it. She knows Greg was healthy, no history of heart issues. Refusing to accept natural causes, she demands more answers. But police resources are limited, and without clear evidence of crime, the case goes cold. Enter private investigator Ken Brennan, a seasoned ex-cop with a track record of solving tough cases. Hired by Susie, Brennan starts from scratch. Brennan arrives in Beaumont months later. He re-interviews hotel staff, pores over security footage, which showed nothing unusual, and examines the room himself, though it's been cleaned and re-rented many times. He focuses on the neighbors. Room 349, right next door, was occupied by a crew of electricians from Wisconsin, in town for a big job at a nearby refinery. They were a rowdy group, heavy drinkers after long shifts. Brennan talks to them one by one. At first, they claim a quiet night, watched TV, went to bed early. But cracks appear in their stories. Then, the breakthrough. Brennan notices something odd in old hotel maintenance reports and photos. A small patch on the wall between rooms 348 and 349. When he digs deeper, staff recall the electricians complaining about a hole they fixed themselves. Re-examining the autopsy photos with fresh eyes, Brennan spots it. What was dismissed as a skin blemish is actually a tiny sealed-over entry wound. The bullet entered at an angle where fat and muscle closed it almost instantly. No exit wound, minimal external bleeding. Ballistics confirm a 9mm bullet fragment lodged inside Greg matches the caliber of a gun owned by one of the electricians. Here's where it gets absolutely wild. That night in room 349, the electricians were drunk, very drunk. They were horsing around, showing off a loaded 9mm handgun one of them carried for protection. Lance Mueller, one of the crew, foolishly points it at the wall during the antics and pulls the trigger. The bullet blasts straight through the thin hotel drywall and into room 348, striking Greg as he sat on the edge of his bed, smoking and watching TV. Greg likely died almost instantly from the massive internal damage. The guys next door hear the shot, realize what happened, but instead of calling for help, panic sets in. They find the bullet hole, grab toothpaste from the bathroom, yes, actual toothpaste, to patch it over, hiding the evidence. They clean up gun residue, stash the weapon, and agree to lie. We heard nothing. Their dumb cover-up is what elevates the charge from tragic accident to criminally negligent manslaughter and ultimately murder. With Brennan's evidence, including ballistics, witness inconsistencies, and the patched wall, police reopen the case. Lance Mueller is arrested and charged. Facing overwhelming proof, he pleads guilty to manslaughter. Some reports say elevated due to the cover-up. He's sentenced to 10 years in prison. The other roommates face lesser charges for obstruction, but largely walk. Finally, justice for Greg Fleniken, a senseless death from stupidity and panic. This incredible story exploded in 2013 with Mark Bowden's gripping Vanity Fair article, which inspired Dateline NBC and 2020 episodes. It's a masterclass in how tiny details, like toothpaste on a wall, can solve impossible crimes. It also raises chilling questions. How many hotel walls are really that thin? And what if they just called 911 immediately? What do you think? Sheer accident, or does the cover-up make it murder? Comment below. If this locked room real-life puzzle blew your mind, drop a like, subscribe for more deep dive solved mysteries, and let me know your next case request. Thanks for watching. Stay safe in those hotel rooms, and see you next time.